Ever notice that moment? You're sitting on the couch, finishing your coffee, when your eyes drift toward the sink. This video isn't about diagnoses, just everyday experiences many people recognize. You think, I'll do the dishes in a minute. You even feel good about it, calm, decided. There's no resistance. Then someone walks in, a roommate, a partner, a parent, and says, "Hey, can you do the dishes?" And instantly something changes. The motivation doesn't slowly fade. It shuts off. You'd rather do almost anything else. And it makes no sense, because seconds ago you were ready to do it. This isn't laziness. You were already on your way. What changed wasn't the task. It was the feeling of choice. The moment the decision stopped being yours, it started to feel intrusive. It sounds irrational when you say it out loud. And yet, this reaction is incredibly common. Many people experience a sharp internal resistance when their time or actions feel directed, especially if they were already willing to act on their own. You might recognize this in other areas of life. Maybe you work well independently, but shut down the moment a micromanager appears. Or maybe you lose interest in a movie, a book, or a trend the second everyone insists you must engage with it. If this pushback feels automatic, you're not being childish or difficult. You're reacting to pressure, real or perceived. Psychologists often describe this as a natural response to a loss of autonomy. When a choice feels taken away, even subtly, the mind instinctively tries to reclaim it. Not logically, emotionally. That's why a "don't touch" sign can make you want to touch something, and why advice you didn't ask for can feel heavier than criticism. For some people, independence isn't just a preference. It's central to how they function. They feel most capable when they're steering their own decisions. When that control is threatened, resistance appears. Not to be defiant, but to reestablish balance. Sometimes that resistance shows up as quiet refusal. Sometimes as procrastination. Sometimes as an almost reflexive no, even when the suggestion is reasonable. The irony is this: it can lead people to avoid things they actually want. Healthy habits, good opportunities, helpful routines, simply because those things arrived as expectations instead of choices. But not all resistance looks the same. Some people push back because they need understanding, not orders. They don't reject direction outright. They reject direction without explanation. If an instruction doesn't come with reasoning, context, or logic, it simply doesn't land. Their mind needs the why before it can commit to the what. From the outside, this can look stubborn or uncooperative. From the inside, it feels like refusing to act blindly. Others experience resistance as overwhelm. For them, expectations, even gentle ones, can feel heavy. The moment something becomes an obligation, their energy drops. What was once enjoyable starts to feel demanding. It's not that they don't care. It's that pressure changes how their mind relates to the task. And for some people, resistance is protective. They learned early on that relying on others or following someone else's lead came with consequences. So independence became safety. Guidance can feel less like support and more like doubt. When someone steps in with instructions, they don't hear help, they hear, "You're not trusted." So they guard their autonomy carefully. not because they don't need anyone, but because control once felt like survival. What all of these experiences share isn't defiance. It's the need to feel like the author of your own actions. For some people, being told what to do is comforting. For others, it creates tension between who they are and what's being asked of them. Neither response is wrong. The key difference is how choice is experienced. So the next time you notice yourself resisting, pausing at the sink, closing a tab, disengaging the moment a suggestion appears, it might be worth asking, is this resistance protecting your freedom or reacting to pressure that feels heavier than it looks? Sometimes resistance is self-respect. Sometimes it's self-protection. And sometimes it's just a signal asking for space and understanding. So where do you see yourself in all of this? And if you enjoyed this look into how the human mind negotiates control and choice, there's more ahead. I'd tell you to subscribe, but something tells me you'll only do it if the decision feels entirely yours.